I've been homeless for approximately 2 years now.
It's cold, yeah, and I'm still.
But it doesn't matter how many jobs I get, I can't get up on my feet because I can't.
It's hard, tougher being hungry, and not have to be sitting out here in the cold, begging for money.
When temperatures plunge to a bone-chilling -20 degrees, your body isn't merely experiencing cold, it begins a rapid, irreversible shutdown, often within a mere 30 minutes. Vital blood flow actively withdraws from your fingers and toes, sacrificing these extremities in a desperate attempt to protect the core and preserve the heart. Given this brutal reality, what compels thousands to deliberately opt for a flimsy nylon tent, a mere whisper of protection, over the promise of a heated shelter? Even amidst some of America's most lethal blizzards, their hard-won knowledge of true survival often stands in stark opposition to conventional wisdom, or everything you might have been taught about enduring such extremes. In this unforgiving environment, the very laws of physics are carved in ice, making a singular misstep a single damp sock, a zipper inadvertently left open an absolutely fatal error. This isn't a leisurely camping excursion. It's an intense, high-stakes battle against an relentless, silent predator that tirelessly hunts day and night. Welcome to Homeless US. I'm Jack. Today, we're drawing back the curtain, revealing the intricate Arctic survival code meticulously developed on the streets. We'll delve deep into the ingenious strategies, the sheer desperation, and the stark, raw science that enables those experiencing homelessness to survive the harshest whiteout conditions. From mastering the counterintuitive secret of starting cold to the ingenious engineering behind a makeshift cardboard furnace, we're meticulously documenting this invisible, hour-by-hour battle for survival itself. Please stay with us through this entire journey, because a deeper understanding of these incredibly thin margins of survival may fundamentally alter your perception of the person you see shivering on a street corner, perhaps forever. This is the unfiltered, raw truth of America's frozen frontier, playing out on our very streets. The paramount understanding, the very first rule you must grasp, is that in the street's brutal environment, it's not the cold itself that primarily kills, it's moisture. While this may seem counterintuitive, any veteran who has endured 10 winters on the street will affirm that a completely dry coat at a searing 0 degrees Fahrenheit offers far greater safety than a damp one even at 32. Dampness utterly compromises the insulating properties of clothing, mercilessly tripling the rate at which your body loses its precious heat. Your body transforms into an open radiator, actively hemorrhaging its vital life force directly into the frigid air. And perhaps the cruelest irony? This deadly moisture most often originates from within you. Sweat, in these conditions, truly is the silent, unseen killer. Seasoned survivors painstakingly move with a deliberate, almost agonizing slowness during their setup, resolutely refusing to allow even a single bead of sweat to form. This strategy to start cold is paramount for their survival. What might appear as mere laziness or indifference to an unknowing passerby is, in reality, a masterful display of biological conservation, a testament to their profound understanding of their own physiology. But sweat is merely one facet of this relentless foe. Every single breath you exhale throughout the long night pumps insidious moisture into the confined air, silently saturating your sleeping bag until it becomes a rigid, icy mask. This is precisely why seasoned veterans constantly rotate their face coverings, pressing them against their warm skin to dry them out before they can freeze into an unusable, solid block. In this unforgiving domain, a dusting of snow on your jacket is a minor, easily manageable nuisance that can be brushed right off. But rain or internal sweat saturating the very fibers of your clothing, that, without question, spells game over. Their clothing strategy is a finely tuned, precise science, prioritizing heavy insulation around the core to vigilantly protect vital organs, while strategically keeping the legs lighter to facilitate continuous, heat-generating movement. And cotton? On the streets, cotton is nothing short of a death sentence. Once its fibers become wet, it demands an agonizing 24 hours to dry in freezing conditions, a luxury of time that no one relying on a tent for shelter possesses. Even the most superior, Technologically advanced clothing becomes utterly useless if your fundamental sleeping setup harbors a critical flaw. While most might instinctively believe that a single, expensive sleeping bag holds the key, the streets themselves have pioneered a remarkably effective trick, one that commercial outdoor companies rarely, if ever, advertise. By meticulously layering a simple, inexpensive summer sleeping bag inside a heavier, winter-rated one, they generate significantly more warmth than a single, ultra-heavy bag alone. The scientific principle is simple. This technique effectively traps additional layers of dead air, and air, fundamentally, is the only true insulator. However, even the most robust gear succumbs to an expiration date. A sleeping bag rated for -20 degrees steadily loses its effectiveness, with each year of use as its delicate insulation becomes compressed and crushed. Crushed insulation, by its very nature, can no longer trap vital air, rendering you, in essence, sleeping beneath a tragically thin pancake. Then there is the essential and non-negotiable boot ritual. While many opt to sleep fully clothed, boots are a critical exception. They absolutely must be removed and placed inside the sleeping bag. Boots abandoned on the cold tent floor will inevitably freeze into unforgiving blocks of ice. By the pre-dawn hours of 4 a.m., attempting to force a frigid foot into such a frozen boot is not just painful, it's a direct recipe for instantaneous frostbite. Savvy survivors also possess the crucial understanding that the zipper side of any sleeping bag acts as a notorious cold bridge. The metal zipper ruthlessly conducts the extreme frost directly against your ribs, chilling you to the bone. Intelligent tent dwellers meticulously position this zipper away from the outer tent walls, the very points where the penetrating cold radiates with its greatest intensity. Within these cramped, confined quarters, shared body heat emerges as the supreme advantage. Strategically zipping to sleeping bags together can elevate the interior temperature by a remarkable 15 degrees, effectively transforming a critically desperate situation into one that is, against all odds, survivable. However, the structural integrity of the tent's roof pales in significance when compared to the critical battle unfolding directly beneath you. The frozen earth beneath acts as an insatiable heat vampire, mercilessly drawing warmth from your body up to 40 times faster than the frigid air. To sleep directly on the bare ground guarantees that your core temperature will plummet to dangerously hypothermic levels within a mere 90 minutes. This is precisely where the humble material of cardboard transcends its everyday value and becomes literal gold. A simple flattened grocery store box, in its unassuming structure, contains thousands of tiny, insulating air chambers that dramatically slow the relentless transfer of heat. It is, quite literally, bubble wrap for your very life. Seasoned veterans meticulously stack their makeshift beds in a precise, life-saving order. A layer of plastic on the absolute bottom to rigorously block moisture, followed by cardboard for its vital insulation, then a foam pad for a degree of comfort, and finally, blankets piled generously on top. This elaborate arrangement effectively creates a sophisticated, multi-layered heat retention sandwich. Even salvaged yoga mats, often rescued from gym dumpsters, become immensely prized commodities on the street, largely because their closed self-foam construction simultaneously blocks both penetrating cold and insidious moisture with remarkable efficacy. The tent itself is often little more than a flimsy nylon windbreaker, perhaps with aspiration of being more substantial. Yet, resourceful survivors have perfected the art of double-walling their temporary homes by carefully suspending a salvage tarp a mere 2 inches outside the main tent. They ingeniously create an insulating air gap, much like a double-pane window, which can add a crucial 10 degrees of interior warmth without any cost. They meticulously seal any seams or tiny pinholes where the relentless wind might infiltrate, using humble materials like duct tape and even candle wax, and in a tactic that seems utterly counterintuitive to the uninitiated. They strategically pile snow against the tent walls, recognizing snow itself as a highly effective insulator. An 18-inch wall of snow expertly transforms a basic tent into a miniature igloo, effectively blocking the biting wind and trapping precious air. However, the single, fatal error is sealing the tent too tightly, without adequate airflow. The accumulated moisture from your own breath transforms the interior into a dangerous, suffocating swamp. By morning, everything becomes thoroughly soaked, and attempting to survive a blizzard with wet gear is an inescapable death trap. Paradoxically, heat sources, despite their life-saving potential, represent the most inherently dangerous aspect of the street survival code. Small tea candles are often a form of street currency. By carefully placing 4 or 5 of these tiny flames under an inverted terracotta pot, survivors create a remarkably effective miniature radiator, capable of raising the interior temperature by a crucial 10 degrees. However, carbon monoxide lurks as an insidious, invisible reaper. Tragically, dozens perish every winter because they unwittingly seal their tents too tightly while attempting to warm themselves with an open flame. This odorless, colorless gas offers no warning. Victims simply drift off to sleep and never awaken. This chilling reality underscores why chemical hand warmers and simple hot water bottles are universally considered the significantly safer alternatives. A sturdy metal bottle, filled with hot water secured from a shelter or benevolent source, and then carefully tucked into a sleeping bag, can provide hours of targeted, soothing warmth. It's a remarkably low-tech solution, tracing its origins back to humanity's earliest struggles against the cold. Yet it remains one of the most consistently effective ways to actively keep the relentless frost at bay. When a relentless, multi-day blizzard descends, venturing outside the fragile sanctuary of the tent is tantamount to an immediate death sentence. Survival instantly transforms into an intricate, high-stakes game of extreme energy conservation. Experienced tent dwellers effectively become human bears, meticulously hibernating up to 16 hours a day, consciously minimizing calorie expenditure to the absolute bare minimum. Boredom, in this context, transcends mere nuisance. It evolves into a formidable psychological enemy. Unchecked panic, in particular, often precipitates catastrophic decisions, such as desperately attempting to leave the tent amidst a blinding whiteout. Humble card games and precious battery-powered radios are elevated to sacred rituals, serving to keep the mind actively engaged and staving off despair. While the body patiently endures the storm's fury, even basic bathroom breaks are meticulously transformed into strategic military operations, precisely timed to minimize the loss of any accumulated body heat. Each instance of unzipping that crucial sleeping bag, they understand, costs them a precious 10 minutes of vital survival time. The challenges surrounding food and water acquire an entirely unique and critical dimension in extreme cold. Consuming raw snow, despite appearing intuitive, is a fatal error. Your body expends an exorbitant amount of precious calories merely to melt that ice into drinkable water, a catastrophic trade-off that rapidly depletes your energy reserves and accelerates the onset of hypothermia. Resourceful survivors meticulously store their water bottles upside down. This simple yet ingenious trick ensures that any ice formation occurs at the bottom, thereby keeping the essential drinking spout completely clear and accessible. Peanut butter reigns supreme as the ultimate winter survival food. Its incredibly high-fat content generates significantly more crucial body heat during digestion than virtually any other available fuel. It is, quite literally, a tiny, self-contained furnace in a jar. However, alcohol is a deadly deceiver. While it creates a fleeting, deceptive sensation of warmth by dilating blood vessels for a mere 5 minutes, it simultaneously causes your vital core temperature to dangerously plummet. During a blizzard, a sip of whiskey becomes a tragically swift, one-way ticket to the morgue. The strategic location of a tent is, without exaggeration, infinitely more critical than its brand or cost. South-facing walls, for example, are considered the Ritz-Carlton accommodations of the street, precisely because they harness invaluable passive solar heat throughout the day. Furthermore, urban heat islands, places like subway grates, radiating steam pipes, and warm building exhaust vents are meticulously mapped out and coveted like hidden treasure. However, novices frequently commit the perilous error of seeking shelter in seemingly protected low-lying areas, hoping to escape the wind. They fail to account for a fundamental law of physics. Cold air is inherently heavy, it sinks. These superficially cozy ditches transform into deadly frost pockets, often registering a chilling 15 degrees colder than the ground merely 20 feet uphill. Truly intelligent survivors meticulously scout potential locations months in advance, possessing the foresight to understand that what appears to be a perfect, sheltered corner in October can, by the brutal grip of January, become a treacherous, howling wind tunnel. Crucially, no one, absolutely no one, survives a blizzard in isolation. Tent communities naturally cluster, forming vital bonds to shared dwindling resources and, perhaps most importantly, to vigilantly watch for any alarming signs of distress in one another. Paradoxically, shivering is considered a positive sign that indicates the body is still actively fighting to generate warmth. The truly dire moment arrives when the shaking abruptly ceases and speech becomes noticeably slurred. That is when the situation has undeniably escalated to critical. These communities establish informal yet rigorous check-in schedules, confirming every few hours that their neighbors are still conscious and responsive. This organic mentorship is the very crucible through which the nuanced Arctic code of the streets is faithfully passed down. An elder survivor might patiently demonstrate to a newcomer the intricate method of sealing a tent seam. A woman who has endured 10 brutal winters might carefully explain the subtle, early indicators of frostbite. It is a profound, voluntary network, its only currency being the invaluable, life-affirming knowledge that someone, somewhere, is diligently watching over you. The enduring, long-term damage inflicted by these relentless storms is a harrowing narrative that, regrettably, remains largely untold and unacknowledged. While surviving a single blizzard is undeniably a monumental feat, enduring 10 consecutive winters in a tent invariably leaves indelible, permanent scars. Numerous survivors recount experiencing permanent numbness in their extremities nerves that have repeatedly frozen to the point of permanent damage, effectively giving up their function. One man chillingly described it as feeling like he was perpetually walking on wooden blocks, utterly devoid of sensation. The pervasive cold doesn't merely threaten your immediate existence tonight, it inexorably claims pieces of your very being, leaving its mark for years, even decades, to come. It is a slow, relentless, freezing erosion of the human body itself. This, then, is the stark, unvarnished reality of the frozen frontier that exists within our cities. It is a world defined by insidious heat vampires, meticulous moisture management, and ingenious cardboard furnaces. We sincerely hope this in-depth investigation has offered you a profoundly new perspective on the extraordinary resilience and sheer technical genius demanded simply to draw another breath in the brutal American winter. Now, we genuinely want to hear from you, our audience. How did this powerful, unfiltered story resonate with you? Did any of these specific, ingenious survival hacks alter your fundamental perception of the pervasive homelessness crisis? Please share your honest emotions and thoughtful insights in the comments section just below. We truly do read every single one of them. If you share our conviction that every human life possesses immeasurable value, far surpassing that of a frozen sidewalk, then we earnestly ask for your support for this channel. Please like this video to signal to the algorithm its importance, helping these vital stories reach a wider audience. Subscribe to Homeless US, and crucially, turn on that notification bell so you never miss our next insightful deep dive into the often hidden lives of our neighbors. Your active engagement, your willingness to listen and learn, is the singular force that sustains this project and keeps our mission alive. Please consider sharing this video with your friends and family. For the more individuals who truly see and understand this truth, the more challenging it becomes for the larger system to simply ignore it. Thank you for watching, and thank you, sincerely, for caring. We look forward to seeing you in our next story. Together, we hold the power to bring light to the unseen, to make the invisible truly visible. This is Home.